Welcome back to the channel, and today I have several awesome knives to share with y'all. First is coming from Kunwu, and I finally got me a Padre. This thing is very impressive. You have the beautiful micro milling on the titanium. This is the all blasted stonewash version. Nice little pivot collars there. It's got the milled titanium pocket clip. That's probably my only gripe on the knife so far, is that the pocket clip is sitting on top of the texture and it's kind of close to the lock relief. I haven't had any issues with it yet, but the clip was a little stiff. I did kind of spring it back some, but just check this beautiful blade out. You have this nice broad, I guess you'd call it like a modified clip point, or it doesn't really matter to me what you want to call it, but this is in Van X Super Clean, and they run it to the proper HRC. And it's nice and thin at around 17 thousandths behind the edge. So this thing's been pretty darn slicey. Beautiful action. You have that thumb hole that's excellent for that reverse flick. And they also have a front flipper with good jimping, so that works well. You could also roll it around if you want. The Padre kind of reminds me of my Custom Knife Factory Evo. You know, some similarities, but it's, in my opinion, it's different enough. One thing that I knew from pictures just by looking at it, this deep curve right here is going to make for some excellent ergos. You know, choke back, it feels great. And man, this choke up spot, very nice. I don't know if these are still available right now, but I know that he is producing some more of these. So if you missed out and you wanted the opportunity to own one, be patient. I know he's trying to get some more back on the site. Excellent jimping. Yeah, the Padre, sweet knife. I'm doing some testing on it right now. But yeah, that's the first one. Next, we have a new one coming from Remette, and I was kind of unsure about this. He sent it to me and didn't really say much about it. Got it out of the package, and I was like, man, this thing is a featherweight. And I've seen some of these with the, you know, the scrolling on the bolsters, and you know, they're usually cheaper knives. And this is usually stainless, but to my surprise, all the frame is titanium. This is titanium, and as you can see, it's got a hidden pivot on both sides. I don't know how they're doing that. I'd have to take this apart. This is desert ironwood scales, so it has a nice classy look to it. Everything's nice and contoured. Titanium backspacer, milled titanium pocket clip. This thing has to weigh under 3 ounces. Very lightweight. You have 4 means of deployment. You have a thumb stud, front flipper, and traditional flipper, plus a blade hole that allows you to reverse flick. You have a Damascus blade, and I'm not sure, I don't think it says, but I'm pretty certain it's going to be a VG10 Damascus. And this thing, I was feeling it. I was like, I got to check that. I did a little bit of cutting with it, and it slices very well. And that's because it's 14 thousandths behind the edge on my particular knife. Smooth action. Thumb stud action works great. The flipping action works great. That blade hole works great. I can do the roll around with the front flipper. I can do the reach around with the front flipper. See, now doing a regular front flipper like this is kind of hard because you got to be careful with the flipper tab. But if I scoot back on it, I can do it. I like the overall profile. It's not something that I would have went out and bought, but now that I have it, I'm pretty excited. Like I said, it's super lightweight. The ergos initially feel really good in hand. You have a hidden lanyard pin back here. They even have skeletonization in there to bring down the weight. I don't know if you can see that screw. There's also a lock insert, being this is a titanium frame, so you don't have titanium or hardened steel. I checked on Amazon. These are going for 128 bucks, and I'm sure once I'm able to do a full review, he'll probably give me some sort of discount code. But for all the work done on here and the materials, I think that's a pretty good price if you're into something like this. There's 2 ways to carry it. You have the pocket clip, plus it ships with this leather slip. You know, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. It's a softer leather slip. If you wanted to drop it in there, remove the pocket clip, make it more of a gents looking knife. You could also probably, you could carry it even with the pocket clip in there. I'll probably just carry it with the pocket clip clip. That's the way I like to carry my knives. All right, we got a brand new Trivisa, and this is the Crateris, I think it is. I thought it was an interesting looking knife, and I'm very, very glad I picked it up because I gotta say, I've been impressed with the knife. You got nice contoured G10. It's like a sand color G10 and backspacer. You have a deep carry inset pocket clip that is reversible. It's a button lock. You have a flipper and a blade hole. This thing rockets out. You have a beautiful bayonet ground blade, a 14C28 in steel. So it's not going to be the sliciest ever because you have a middle height flat grind, but you're going to have a very robust tip. The action is what really surprised me on this knife. And I've had a couple of other button locks from Trivisa and I've been impressed. But watch this. This thing, when I say has absolutely no friction at all, once you release that button, it's insane. It's kind of like the Trivisa Vol that I have. You can reverse flick off that blade hole. You can thumb flick off of it. You can slow roll it. The flipping action's great. The ergos feel really, really good. I haven't started doing any testing with this one, but very, very comfortable. The action is some of the best action I felt on a button lock in a while. Very, very smooth. Now, I don't know how I let this one slip by me. This right here is the Sencut Brazoria, and I was scrolling through Amazon and I saw this knife and then I saw the price. These are going for $27. $27. You got flipper and the dual fuller, so you can reverse flick it. It's got a straight clip, so that means your belly is going to be very, very gradual. That tip sits underneath the center line of that pivot, so you easily can get that tip down on things, making this a very versatile blade shape. D2 steel, and that's something that's also crazy. A lot of times when they use D2, the price is a little bit higher because it holds a better edge than the 9CR. This thing is ground nice and thin. Mine is coming in at around 15 thousandths behind the edge. G10 scales, reversible pocket clip. Comfortable for my hands. The action is nice. Flipping action's good. You got a nice minimal flipper tab with some excellently done jimping. Yeah, this is a good one for $27. Man, that's a no-brainer. We have some brand new Civivi knives that I did a little bit of testing on. First up, we have the newest Civivi Chevalier, and this one is the button lock with aluminum. The regular one was button lock G10 with steel frame. Being that this one is, oh, and I got their beautiful Damascus blade. It's a VG10 core Damascus, and man, just look how good. I don't know about y'all, but man, that looks good. One thing that this right here, at least, I don't know how the other ones are, but the Damascus allows this to be a little bit, it catches the finger better, so I can easily reverse flick that one. This one, I got to be very intentional to reverse flick because it has a raw stone wash, so it's not that grabby, at least for me, and it's small. But being that they went with solid aluminum, no liners in there, it brings the weight down. The aluminum one is 3.18 ounces. The original is 3.4 ounces. The Damascus bladed one's going to run you $94. Just the plain ones with the 14C28 blades going to run you about $70 with the aluminum scales. I love the Chevalier. It's one of my favorites from them. It's a good slicer. That sheep's foot blade is going to be excellent for utility cutting and stuff, dragging through stuff. If you need to trace out something, it's going to work great for it. And then it's going to be a very, very powerful cutter as well. And of course, we have the new Civivi Praxis button lock. So original one, we have the 9CR with the micarta on this one. And then this year they did the Ultim version with the 9CR, and then the Caviso exclusive one with the titanium frame lock and the S35VN and the thumb studs. Man, that's why I like this one so much, because they added the thumb studs to it. But some excellent ones. Now we have the button lock. Now there's some differences between this one and this one. Besides the aluminum frame, you're also, that action. You're also getting a Nitro V blade on this one instead of the 9CR. The overall length is bigger to house that button lock. Let's see, go butt to butt so you can see the difference in length. It's not a bunch, just a little bit, because they had to, you know, redesign it for that button lock. I like the extra size. The weight on it, being that there's no liners, this thing's a featherweight, at least for the nice full size nature of this knife. This one's coming in at 3.88 ounces. This one's coming in at 4.05 ounces. I did notice, and I was doing some cutting with this one, I did notice that this one is a little bit thinner behind the edge at 14 thousandths. This one's 16 thousandths, so still a beautiful slicer. If you've never owned a Praxis, man, these things slice so well. This is more of a large sharpening choil, but I can do like a trigger grip right there if I want. The Praxis is going to run you $75 in this configuration. This one has the best action out of all the ones I just showed y'all. Probably one of my most recommended. When I get somebody new to knives and they want something affordable, I usually start them here with the Praxis, especially if they're looking for a flipper. This right here is the Grambeau Russ EDC. I reviewed the Russ a while back on the channel, and the original Russ is a bigger version of this. This is a more EDC friendly size, and I gotta say, wow. The pre-order is open on these right now. We'll have all links to all the knives and this pre-order down below in the description if you're interested. So let's kind of go over this one real quick. If you get on the pre-order, they're going to be shipping out late May 2024. That's the estimated time. The OEM to this is Best Tech Knives. They do some amazing work, and it shows on this prototype. Your specs, this one's coming in at 7.65 inches long with a 3.29 inch drop point blade in CPM MagnaCut steel. The HRC is going to be around 61 to 63. Hopefully they get it closer to that 63 range. I've tested a lot of MagnaCut, and I found the ones, especially in folders, the ones that perform the best are in that 63 to 64 range. I've had some in all the way from 61 all the way to 65. So that 63, 64, 63 to 65 range is the best. But I understand when you're doing large batches from a production company, it's a lot harder for them to hit those numbers. So hopefully we're closer to 63. You got a nice hollow grind on here that feels nice and thin. You have some functional jimping up here of like a thumb ramp like that. Your sharpening choil is done well. You should have tons of sharpening life, at least to about where my fingernail is before it'll start to widen back there. You got a needle-like point right there for doing piercing tasks. You can use that tip to do drag cuts because that tip is low enough. It's in line with that center of the pivot. This is the all blacked out stonewash version. There's different configurations. If I think about it, I'll pop some up on the screen. This one has his see-through pivot and body screw. These are 4mm hex. I think that's really cool. You got the Grambeau pivot. They have this frag titanium. It's contoured, looks beautiful. And like I said, the different finishes, this is all blacked out. You can also get it in smooth titanium, and you can also get it in a diamond texture. I don't know which one I like better, the frag or the diamond. Both of them look absolutely stunning. This is a frame lock, and they have a section milled out right here, as you can see, to inlay in front of the lock, so you have an over travel protection and you don't have to worry about your finger being on that lock when flipping it out. So that's really cool. I like that in the regular, the first Russ that came out. And I like how he put the inlay pattern on that side as well. So you have it on both sides. He also thought about that pocket clip. As you can see, hopefully there's a flat spot underneath there, so you're not tearing up your pants pocket. You got nice contoured, blind screwed mill titanium pocket clip that functions outstanding because it's sitting on top of that smooth portion. So the tension on this is perfect. They did a really, really good job there. You have two means of deployment. You have the thumb studs that, I mean, rock it out. The detent is dialed perfectly for the thumb stud action. Very, very nice. And you can also, he designed it as a front flipper as well. I'm okay with front flipping this. It's not the easiest for me. I can't really do the reach around. He dialed in the detent for these thumb studs, so I'm glad he did that. I don't really care about in the front flipper. It works great. Ergos for me just initially feel good. These two fingers for me fit in this large choil area, and then this flare out right here fits my other two fingers nicely. Yeah, this one is very enticing. If I have the cash, I will definitely be getting in on this pre-order. I picked up the Assetto. This thing is stunning. It's front flipper only. Beautiful clip point. Beautiful knife here. These are still available on his site. So if you follow the link that I put for this, you can find that as well. So the Russ EDC is very, very similar in length to the Assetto. They might be exactly the same. So if you have an Assetto, you have an idea of the size of the Russ EDC. On the Russ EDC gave us more blade to handle ratio, so very close to being a 1-to-1. And he also did deeper internal milling. I don't know if you can actually see those pockets or not, but he pocketed them out more to bring down the weight. You got a huge barrel standoff in the back right here, flow through construction, so you can easily clean it out. The action's nice and smooth, nice and snappy. Good access to that lock bar. Very nice. I can easily get my finger in there. Very well done. There's a hardened stainless lock insert in there as well, as you can see. So that will do it for today's video. That's everything that I have. Let me know what you think about the brand new Russ EDC. I think it's awesome. I really hope I can swing it. You know, it's kind of difficult right now with Christmas right around the corner. I don't really have too much extra cash, but this is everything. Let me know what you think about the Padre, and do any of y'all own the Padre? Also, what do y'all think about the new aluminum version of the Civivi Chevalier 2? Don't know why they didn't go with the 2 on the Praxis, because it's got enough different stuff on it. And what do y'all think about this new Trivisa? Let's look at that. Super impressed. Yeah. Very comfortable ergos. Yeah, this one is probably my favorite so far this year in their budget line. And the Brazoria. Wow. $27? What? That is a steal of a deal for what you're getting here. And I got to hear y'all thoughts and opinions on this new Remette. I think this is the Urbane. What do y'all think about this one? So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave those down below. I hope everybody is having an outstanding Saturday. I will see y'all on the next one. Hey, so, boom.